for a team that, for a starting five that hadn't really played together.
Yeah.
At least offensively, it looked like there was a lot.
Yeah, I told him that. I was really happy because in practice yesterday, it was the first day, with Fee in there. So we were getting a lot of work without those guys playing together, and I just didn't think we were as precise or targeted in our offense in the scrimmaging that we did yesterday, and so that was a focal point. Thought they had that out of the park. I thought they were really persistent, and I mentioned before the game we don't have a lot in, probably helpful, but we understand what we do have in, there's layers to it, things that you could do. You don't have to, have 10 plays. You have one play and different stuff you can get. And I thought they were really good at recognizing that.
Given how we forced a lot of turnovers, and there were pockets of this game when you defended really well, how would you assess on your defense?
Yeah, we fought through screens well. I thought we were hard to play against, but as the game wore on, the points in the paint were a problem. Them getting in there and us fouling, and then that's where you get the old boards. And so I thought our containing penetration, we talked about it. We tried to give Chicago credit. They've got some personnel that are really, really persistent with their drives and very effective. And hopefully we'll learn from that, do a little bit better. We don't want to get out rebounded. We don't want to get it out paint points. And we were able to get our own. We got to 40 on the points in the paint. How we doing threes? We didn't make a lot. We took 22. One of the best 3-point shooters. Couldn't find one to go down. But overall, I talked to Heidemann about she's got to find more threes. We had one play that we executed for her that got her the lone three that she made. So she'll figure that out. And then she'll be running a second group. She's gonna be really valuable there, and she'll settle in. She'll figure that out.
Carney was saying that early out of the game, she passed up an open shot. And you yelled at her.
Well, I think you all had to yell at her too, right? She raised to shoot. Everybody goes it's the first play of the game, and she got wide open. And it's that pull up jumper. There's it's just so good. And Ruthie had warned us that that's what she does. Ruthie said, "Be ready. Courtney's going to pass it when she should be shooting it." And sure enough, the first possession. So I went down to Ruthie and I said, "You were so right." So we laid into her in that timeout. Yeah. Don't ever do that. I'm going to fine you next time you do that. So
Courtney seemed like she was leading a lot of the huddles and stuff on the court. How impactful was she in kind of bringing that five-person starting unit together?
Yeah. And we've talked about it. I think you guys have written a couple pieces about it. The best one was Kent's. Just that's what she did. I know that necessarily when we were signing her to the level? No. Walked in the gym in the off season when she was running up and down and just, I just noticed it and thought, this is really, really good for us. And she knows, she just knows what should be happening, right? She's a vet. So it's a voice that you want. The stuff that she's saying, I know is the right thing. They trust her. She's got a lot of currency, whether, she's getting on Diamond, whoever it is, or telling Fee, hey, this is the option. This is what's there. Just really, really smart basketball player. I'm glad she's ours.
Cheryl, there was obviously no broadcast at the game tonight, but
actually there was, yeah. Hey, Allie.
160,000 people were watching.
Yeah. Yeah.
What are your thoughts on what happened there and what, whether it's the league or powers that be can take from that?
Yeah, well, one, hey, Allie, we should all send $3. Anybody that watched it should have sent $3 to the person. I don't even know who it is. I just heard walking here, Abby shared with me. At the time, you said 120, so it's up to 160, I guess.
People said 200,000.
200,000, which I think that what I would say is that the growth is happening so fast. It's so accelerated. And I've been saying this in our own organization that business as usual isn't going to work anymore. You're going to get left behind. And this is an example. Pretty simply, I'll tell you what happens in the preseason. I think we've been ready for this. I think we've talked about it. I can't tell you. I'm not in all the business meetings. But we have been wanting, there's been a thirst for it, not just this season, even before that, I felt like. But what you have to weigh, I think what they would tell you is they have to weigh the production costs. For preseason games, maybe it's not beneficial for everyone to do. So that's what's in the way, that decision of, where you're going to spend your money. And certainly Caitlin's first game, they were going to value. I'm all for that. I get it. People want to see that, but they also want to see, it's not just about Caitlin, and this isn't Caitlin's fault in any way. It's more, the recognition that there's general excitement about the WNBA in ways that we haven't seen before. And so we have to capitalize, to really ensure that this is a movement. We have to capitalize on those things. And so we'll learn. I think we'll learn. Again, it's like, we say, sometimes even on the court, like you can't fix everything. What's the low hanging fruit? Let's try to, get to it. But Angel Reese has a pretty strong following. And, I thought it'd been cool if she would have whipped out her phone and maybe, her and Peely, like I said, when I posted, maybe they stream it, just kind of, put some sort of cam on them and
Nothing to do. She could have done it from the bench.
Who's that? I thought about asking her.
And Cheryl, I know that Courtney obviously was terrific tonight, but when you think about what kind of damage she might be able to do over the course of the season, what do you think that is going to unlock for Fee, especially in 5-out lineups that you haven't seen these last couple?
Yeah, and then you add K-Mac to the mix too. Put Dorka back in there. You get a couple. You get someone like Sika Kone, who's, the energy. I think. I just can't say enough. Just in terms of the chemistry that those two, it's going to be easy for them. It's going to be a seamless because they're such good basketball players, and then they're selfless. And Fee's going to help Courtney get good shots, and then Courtney's going to help Fee get good shots. And so. I can only think that it's going to be really good for our basketball team. This is just a preseason game. But we did what we wanted to do. There was a lot of things we wanted to get done. We got the lineup, working together. So we checked that box. We looked at some personnel that are sort of, in position, to challenge for spots. And then we tried, some of the others that, deserved, to try to get them in the games hard. We have 16 players, so it's tough. But from Courtney's standpoint, it's why we signed her. It's why I told her, it's why we paid her the big bucks, that she should be in the conversation this season for one of the best guards in the league. She absolutely should be in that conversation. So she should be a first or second team all WNBA. She's that good. And we want to get her back in that conversation. And so she was all for that.
Were there any pleasant surprises, things that you didn't expect that you saw out of some of your?
Well, it's things that we have seen, but whether they could do it in the game. We have seen, Taylor Soule, don't want to take her for granted. We've seen that. She did it. She does it every day in practice. She's the closest thing we've had to Brunson in terms of it doesn't matter the drill, doesn't matter what type of day, the game. She never has a bad day when it comes to that. Never. So it's real. And, you can really count on that from her. And we talked a lot about you can make a living in this league for a long time. You can win rings, if you're, Brunson has 5 of them. And then Cam Taylor, I think, also brought that. Cam is such a competitor. And it's what we've been seeing at practice. And I kind of figured if she got the moment, like if she could be in there, that she would rise. She would rise. And she didn't do everything perfectly, but incredibly coachable, and that compete part is, that's just from a coaching standpoint, it's what you want. I love our training camp. The players that we have here. Trailer has been really good. What you saw, finding her moment. She's also a good shooter. I thought Epupa had her moments, did the things that she likes to do defensively. We got through a ton of screens, a ton of ball screens. We needed to guard penetration a little better, but I understand that those are some really fast players, and Dana Evans and Kennedy Carter. But we needed to be there and help sooner, and we needed to cover down. When we did it, it was very effective. But anyway.
You talk a lot about wanting to get more threes up, and I know that's the game now. See, sometimes that mid-range is almost like dirty words.
Yeah.
But this organization kind of has a history. You have a history of knowing what to do with somebody that hit a mid-range shot.
You know what it is? Just let him do it. What's that? Just let him do it.
I mean, she might be the best mid-range.
Oh, you should have heard Brunson and Katie. It's just ridiculous what she can do. And we've guarded it for years, and so we know. We're like, well, as soon as she, as soon as she raises, as soon as she raises, it's just a matter of whether she makes or miss. You can't do anything about it. And you're right. She comes off pin downs. I told Simone that when I saw her in Knoxville. It's nice to have a pin down player. We really didn't. We got to that maybe one time, tonight. So we'll kind of get better about how we can get her in pick and rolls, get off ball, come off pin downs. Like we talked about rebounds. Other defense was pretty solid. But yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I think if you can do it, you don't turn that down. Don't turn that down.
Coach, you guys talk about all the things that make Letitia Heidemann exciting position for weeks now.
Yeah.
It's just one preseason game, but getting to see her do it in the game in the Lynx jersey, it just kind of felt like she influenced the game in every way she could.
Yeah.
How do you assess her?
And she does it in practice. Her impact of really embracing getting after people defensively, and she's got quick hands. She deflects a lot. She makes you have to. You better. You can't just be up there calling a play. She's got you worried about losing the ball and trying to get him in the right play, and then gets through screens in such a great way. She's only going to get more and more confident. We'll figure out just rotations and how to best use everybody. But I thought she played confidently. She played with a great deal of passion. They had fun. And they deserved it. They deserved, and we loved watching the group that was out there that's competing for a spot on our team in the league. Be able to win the game for us. We didn't go back to the first group to win the game. They were very, very hyped about that, and I thought T was somebody that was kind of giving that energy.
Yeah, I know plus minus isn't the be-all end-all. Yeah, but when you look at the plus minuses in your 5-star.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of plus minus, but I'll look at it. Yeah, it's good. That's good.
Teresa Weatherspoon was impressed with that too.
The plus minus? Yeah, I don't know how she feels about it, but
And Cheryl, last one for you. It looked like Alana Smith was up in coverage quite a bit.
Yeah.
And just, I guess, when you think about what Dorfa was able to do, how she kind of surprised you a little bit, able to get up and acted forever and switch. Does it excite you at the proposition of not only being able to play big with Collier, Smith, and Uhas, but also being able to switch potentially when...
Yeah, for sure. And Lan, like Fee, they get aggressive, in the ball screens. And we're trying to make this recognition of, if we're playing... if we're supposed to be playing a certain scheme, and let's say we miss it and the guard comes off and they're wide open, I don't like to step up. And we saw that late when Cam stepped up and late in the game and they threw it in for a three-point play. That learning when it's best to give up a 35% shot, which is a mid-range, right, to a player versus making the switch, and you're switching. If you're big like that, that's going to be an easy thing to do. Not all of our personnel behind Lan, behind Fee, are capable of turning it into a positive, right? So Lan's got to, kind of figure out. Dorca's got it down. She's not going to step up when she shouldn't step up. And so Lan is kind of going, wait, so you don't want me? And I said, I know it feels terrible to see a wide open shot, but make him make that shot. And then we'll fix the guard play. All right, don't step up and give him the stuff in the paint, 3-point plays, boards, that come from that. So, but yeah, I mean, Lan has been really, really good. She's a very, very trustworthy player, in that she's doing the right things offensively, defensively. Have really, really enjoyed, watching her and see her instincts.
Any better questions?
Haley had a rough night shooting tonight.
Yeah.
Is there anything you saw during her minutes that were kind of encouraging with her having that rough night of shooting?
She was open. She was open. And every time you're open, now she turned down one late because I guess when you get to a certain point, maybe she's feeling like, all right, maybe I'll pass it and give it to somebody. But I told her, don't turn them down. Some nights you're 5 of 6, other nights you're 0 of 5. That's the life of a shooter. But to have a big that can shoot it, and then you saw her pass. So there's a lot of game in there. She made her first shot, and then I love that she was open.
She seems to have a really good ability to kind of drift into
She does.
open spots.
Yep.
So.
Well, at Utah, they coach the heck out of windows, and so she finds windows to be open.